Hey, what's up, everyone? While he's sprinting, I mean, obviously, one of the fastest people when he was alive. His 200-meter sprint was this one. He won world record with. He ran 19:3.32. And the big thing that's interesting with him is that he has this kind of upright posture, almost like where he's leaning back. And I think there's a couple things that really stand out to him. To me, when you know, talking about Michael Johnson, I mean, one thing is when you look at him compared to the other people in the race, I mean, he's a lot bigger of a person. He has giant legs, and I think overall he has, you know, you can kind of compare him to the rest of the field. He has such an amazing core strength. Okay, so his when he's going into this hyperextension, it's really not a great thing to do. Where you can kind of see it here, where he's going in, and his back is almost arching. I wouldn't recommend that for a lot of people, just because again, you don't have the core strength. Whatever he did when he was working out, when he was training, when he was, you know, training to be a sprinter, his core workouts had to be, you know, amazing. They had to be some really high quality stuff that made everything work right. Just because not only was he able to maintain such a high level while having that extension in the back, but also because of how big and strong his legs are. So to be able to, you know, effectively control those legs with that high lumbar extension, as well as, you know, be able to run in such a high position, both ended up working out so well for him because of his ab strength. So if you're more of an upright runner, I would say you need to make sure you're building up that core in order to maintain that and continue to build off of it. Okay. Now off of that, we'll go more into really the technique behind it all. So one of the big reasons that he does the quicker steps and keeping that upright position is it allows him to not allow his feet to not get under him, right? So one of the things that a lot of times what happens to me when I'm working with kids is you know, you start to be able to get those feet to run faster and be quicker. And what ends up happening then is kids will have a hard time getting those knees through, and you know, it ends up affecting their speed, right? Because they're trying so hard to get their feet going quickly that they almost, you know, run too fast for their feet to be able to catch up. Now, I think the big reason for that is because they have a slight arch or forward lean in the spine and not as good of ability to get that knee up and through. So, you know, something similar was probably happening to Michael, and what Michael did is he started to become a little bit more upright in his spine, and that made it so then he was able to get his feet through a lot quicker and really effectively. I mean, you could see how well he just goes right, and when he pushes up too, he doesn't let that back foot get stuck behind him. See how he drives that heel right back up to his butt? I mean, that's, you know, elite level of how well he's able to do that and then get his knee right back through. And I can guarantee you that if he had a slight forward lean in his spine, he wouldn't be able to do that as effectively, because his, you know, body, his upper body would start going too fast and his legs wouldn't be able to stay underneath him. So what the real advantage that he was able to get by keeping his spine up was to be able to run and keep that, you know, high efficiency in his steps. That heel comes right back up to his butt. It almost doesn't get stuck behind him at all, and then he drives it right back through. He doesn't have a great knee drive, but he doesn't spend very much time off the ground. I mean, he's, you know, as soon as this leg pushes off the ground, this one's coming right back underneath. He does a great job moving. I mean, when you watch him running at full speed, his feet are moving very, very quickly. And again, the way to do that is to be able to maintain that upward right spine position. And he almost, you know, his center of gravity is almost backwards in order to make it in the upper body, in order to make it so then his lower body can keep everything, you know, keep the pendulum in balance because of how fast his lower body is going. So, you know, that's really why he does that. I wouldn't really recommend it, because you just have to have such a high level of core strength in order to do this effectively, and also hip strength. I mean, you just have to be very strong in that area in order to effectively, you know, carry out this sprinting technique. So I think the slight forward lean is a little bit better, but I think Trayvon Bramwell does a good job of also keeping pretty an upright posture. So it can be effective to be able to keep upright, and it could also be effective where you come and lean slightly forward. I think Sonny Brown, the Canadian sprinter, the Japanese sprinter, he does has a pretty forward lean, so he's on the opposite side of the spectrum. So it could really end up going both ways. There's a lot of discrepancy just based off of how you are as a sprinter. Another thing that I'll touch on real quick right before the end, and one thing that he talks about, Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson also has a great library of videos that talk about sprinting. He does a good job of really keeping very still in the shoulders. When you look at somebody like Usain Bolt sprint, he's going to be much more kind of rocking side to side. I think he uses kind of that lateral movement in order to help him generate speed. What Michael Johnson does, he's very, very still, very, very controlled in those shoulders and in that upper body, and that makes it so then he's not having very much wasted motion there. Again, and that also goes into core strength. I mean, the guy had unbelievable core strength, and that was really the center of all of his success. And man, his cycle is so pretty too, especially on that left leg. I mean, he does such a good job of driving that heel right up to his butt. So, as always, thanks for watching these videos, guys. We're going to continue to break down speed mechanics, continue to help you out with this. If you have any questions, send me an email, Morey, Morey, at yourperformancelab.com. Also, check out our membership. We go into detail about sprint mechanics. We're going to have a couple cool new videos coming out that's going to go more in detail about sprinting mechanics, how you can help your start, how you can help your arm swing. And then if you want to do a speed breakdown or want to work with us in terms of exercises, let me know, and I would be happy to help you out. As always, thanks for watching the videos, and we will see you soon.